Uh-oh.
A lovable ogre, a talkative donkey,
This must be one of those alternate realities.
and a fighting panda.
Looks impressive, Kowalski, but would fly.
Yes.
They all began as ideas inside the heads of animators here at DreamWorks,
Nice.
the studio that uses the power of computer technology to unleash the power of dreams.
Audiences, kids in particular, do find a stronger connection today with the CG characters. It has a dimensionality to it that actually makes the characters and the worlds themselves richer, and it makes it a more immersive experience.
Puss?
Turning crazy ideas into movies that work is a long-haul journey. But it's one that DreamWorks has repeatedly embarked on. In 2001, its movie Shrek won the first ever Academy Award given to an animated feature. Next month's Kung Fu Panda 2 will be its 16th computer-generated movie. The tools may have changed from paint and acetate to keypad and mouse, but the heart of any great movie remains the same.
The hardest thing in the world is, just telling a really, really good story, and it's why it takes us still 4 years to make these movies.
What's this stage called?
It's called storyboards. We will have a script, and then we make the visual script, and we add and change and change.
It's like having a play that you get to be in rehearsals, you get to do dress rehearsals. Something's not working, you go back, you rewrite a scene. That's what our process allows us, is to get it right. And the last thing we do is actually animate it.
I think the challenge of getting the animation really, really blazing is you don't do the obvious. You have to make sure that it's not the stereotypical expression for any given moment, because that would be just bad acting.
We also have mirrors that will start just acting, making different faces in front of, to see all the different details. If we want to see exactly what happens when I go from a happy to a frown, I'll see that my brows come down, so then I'll jump into manipulating the brows.
Animation is an intensive process. 2 weeks of an animator's work fills only 3.5 seconds of screen time. The greatest challenge of all was presented by the movie's villain, Shen the Peacock. The realistic movement of his feathers and robe led animators into uncharted territory.
If you look closely, you can see, and I'll step through, so you can see these feathers on his arm, the covert feathers, the secondary feathers, are actually moving, being influenced by the cloth as it moves. And time is spent at the beginning hand placing positions for all of the feathers. Then we have some kind of guides or combs that define how these feathers move, where they bend. But there are times when we have to go in and manually, animate and move some of these feathers ourselves.
If we had asked for that on the first film, I think we would have been laughed out the door or attacked.
Walt Disney had this great mission statement, and he said, "I make movies for children and the child that exists in all of us." 17 years later, here at DreamWorks, this is what we do. We make movies for adults and the adult that exists in every child. And I say that with a wink and a nod to Walt Disney. That's our true north.
Kat Deely, CNN, Los Angeles.